I went to college at Temple University in Philadelphia, and I was a wandering communications student. When I was maybe like 17 or 16 years old, I went up to New York City to visit my cousin Bethany, who worked at Ogilvy. And I'd never been in an agency before, and I walked in there and everything was red and new, and there were ping pong tables, and everyone didn't seem like they were working. And so I was like, this is pretty cool, right? It's fast paced, everyone's young, and no one's doing anything. This is awesome for a young person to see. But then I ended up specializing in advertising in the communications school at Temple, and I got an internship at a very, very small, regionally based ad agency in Bluebell, which is about 20 miles outside of Philadelphia, and really, really liked the media side of the business. And so from there, I interned there maybe for a year or so. And then after college, I graduated in May of '04. And I got a job working in the sales department for Viacom. And I was doing spot sales for their owned and operated UPN and CBS affiliates. And so I got to see the sales side of things, particularly on the TV side, which I did not like at all. And so I had a nice comparison between the people who were buying the media and the folks that were selling it, and said, I got to get back. It was a little bit too cutthroat for me. You know, I need more of a mellow environment. I need a little bit more focus, especially on the sales side at the associate level, which I walked into. Every dollar matters to everybody because your paycheck is based on it. And so, you would keep leads in your drawer and you would lock them up so people couldn't get them. Or if you left them on your desk, somebody would steal them and they would call on your leads. And it just seemed to me that wasn't a very collaborative way to work. And I would much rather have the opportunity to work with people to solve a problem than rely on myself and my intuition to make money. That just didn't jive with me. So the fact that I realized quickly that I wasn't an individualist in terms of my work style was what made the decision easy to leave and go back to the agency side. And so I ended up working for another small agency outside of Philadelphia for about a year before I moved to Seattle, Washington for a year and a half to work for Razorfish, because that's where I really wanted to work. And I interviewed in Philadelphia. They didn't have a place for me, but they passed me on to Seattle, and being young and not tied to anything, I moved out there. Worked there for about a year and a half, then transferred back to the Philadelphia office of Razorfish, and then ended up at Digitas several years later. So I've worked in a lot of places, a lot of cities, a lot of clients, and a lot of different environments in the 8 or so years I've been out of school. I see myself getting involved in a lot more, a lot of different things at the agency, I've had the very, very good fortune recently to start working on some new processes that I'll be talking about this evening. And that's been fun because I spent the last 8 or so years doing a lot of client work. So I've gotten very, very comfortable with the idea of helping clients reach their goals and learning as much as I can about a product to make sure that I know what's in the best interest of it. But I think at this point in my career, I'm into helping people that really want to do something new. Not that our clients don't oftentimes, but in this new capability, we're looking at clients who want to have a deeper knowledge of their audience. They want to understand what the best channels to utilize to reach those people are. And they want to know it well ahead of actually being given a media plan, for instance. And so I've enjoyed that work because it's project-based, and I can really immerse myself in a brand and in their goals and in their objectives for 3 or 4 months and start to white knuckle on that for a while, and then once that's done, I get to hand that project off to somebody and watch them actually make something out of it. And so I hope that I'm able to do a lot more of that stuff at the agency in the next 10 or so years. I would hope that for me personally, my career would continue to grow. So, but along with that comes the need for me to also continue to build the quality of my work and my offering to the agency. So I think that in this new capability that I'm working in, to as often as I can, infuse new ideas and new ways to utilize data are going to be exponentially important. But I hope at the surface level just not to get bored. I think it's easy for people, especially in agencies, to get very, very used to what they're doing. And so it's important that you just keep challenging yourself, and if you find yourself with downtime, go try and learn something new. Go visit another department and be like, hey, what are you doing? Just see what's going on, because a lot of that's going to help you get better. And so people might think that I'm annoying, but when I'm bored, because I'm walking around and asking you what you're doing and what you're working on and why you made something green instead of red. But